Much more.
And now for lovers of curved blades.
Oh, that's curved.
Yeah, this is this Mamluk blade, as the Napoleon I loved that, as we know.
Yes.
And this blade, it doesn't look from the distance, but if you take a look closer, you see the welded steel on it.
Oh, really? So
yeah,
it's pattern welded as well.
Yes, as well.
Yeah.
Let me show it to you. I hope you can catch it here. No, I can't, but I have pictures of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they told me this is the source of pride in the museum, one of it. You can see the welded steel here from time to time. You see?
Yeah.
Look how beautiful this one is. Oh, God, I really love these French Mamluk blades. They are so beautiful.
Well, they got so entranced by the design of the Mamluk weapons. And, I mean, understandably, they're beautiful swords.
And do you see that the Mamluk blades, like Central Asian ones, have a continuous curve, not like Persian Shamshir, where it goes straight then bends. They have a continuous curve, very beautiful. But making, I mean, I really, I think I told you, in Musée d'Armée, I've seen also many Mamluk blades and also mounted for Napoleon, for his generals as well. Oh God, they're so beautiful. And one of them is here. And then they told me, okay, next, I'm going to Musée d'Armée. Promise. I've received so many requests. I will go there, guys. Sure. But the one thing is, many of them were made in Klingenthal. Now we are in the mother location of those places, Klingenthal.
Yeah, well, this is the whole thing. We hear about Solingen and things like that. You very rarely get to see a museum set up to show you how the work was done.
Yes.
This is great stuff.
Okay, and they also Klingenthal made body armor and helmets as well.
Yeah.
So look at this one, Bede.
Yeah. So this is for a French heavy cavalryman.
Excuse me.
1925. Oh, right.
Yeah. Yes. It was made for Don Bernard Biguer. There was a guy, and the curator told me they also tried to make his face exactly the way he looked. So he looked like that. Isn't it amazing?
I can't make one do that. It won't do it. Yeah. See, those cuirasses for the cuirassiers are really quite solid.
Yeah, very solid.
More so than say a medieval one, because they're designed with pistols and long range shots from muskets, so that having only got on a horse in armor once, I would imagine that armor that didn't have anything below the waist would make you feel very top heavy when you were sitting in a saddle, and I'm not sure how comfortable that would be. But then again, you're thinking, well, they're going to shoot center of mass. That's where people shoot at you. That's probably pretty good protection.
Yes.
Bede,
look at the shoulder straps and how they are fastened. They're like two of them, right?
Yeah, so it's like a keyhole shape, so that the bigger part is for the button to fit through, and then it slides up to the narrow part so that it doesn't move too much. This is quite an old style of fastening. I think you can see this in maybe 15th century, 16th century armors, not with the long chain epaulette type things, but that kind of fastening for bits of armor.
Mm.
I think is quite old. I've seen it certainly in 17th century armors. Um, uh, Sometimes like I don't know, it might be in Karlsruhe. There's an armor for the elector or whomever,
Yes.
and it's 17th century and it's got a solid breastplate with that
Yes.
kind of hook on because it's a good way. He can change the length of that by, well, it's got two settings, but the thing is that it would be made to fit him, say, in his regular uniform and his winter uniform, which I assume would be thicker. Um,
You can take a look at it, Pete. I can show it as in a film, short film clip.
yeah, yeah, you get
Nice
a bit.
helmet.
Yeah, it's a very extravagant helmet, isn't it?
Yeah,
And you
beautiful.
see how it's the waist belt tightens it together. Um, it's
Yes,
and it's got stop ridges. Um,
yes,
yeah,
very
it's
beautiful.
and yeah, and again, it's a bit narrow in front than in back, so you can move your arms properly.
Yes,
Though it is pretty cut away, so you've got a fair amount of space there.
yes.
And I think
Okay,
by this,
Pete. We
oh,
go
more
to
bike
this
blades.
one. Next to this Mamluk blade,
Mm,
these blades are the crown jewel of this museum as well. And you will
mm,
see. So you see that? These ones, the beautiful ones. And
yeah.
all of them are welded steel. You can see it clearly, all of them.
Mhm.
And you see that here as well. You can see that. In the beginning, I made close-up of these blades. You remember in that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This
You
one.
can still see it fairly well.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, so the clip points they were doing for Mamluk stuff, which is odd because
Yes,
I've seen clip points, but never in blades manufactured in Turkey or Egypt.
yes,
Um, this is not saying false edges. Yeomen are quite common, but clip point
yes.
seems to be a thing you see more in Russia.
So you see explanations here. The saber, right? The cavalry of officier
Yeah.
supérieur. This is this one, right? Then if you
Yeah.
come here, this is this one. Is a cavalry, light cavalry saber, right? X1. So this is this one. The marks
Yeah.
are there
So,
also there.
so that's
1820.
year 11 of
Yes,
Napoleon's reign,
correct.
isn't it?
Yes,
He
exactly. This is André Deschamps. Here, do you
yeah.
remember Joseph Biche, Francois Joseph
Oh
Biche?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember
He
him. Yeah,
decorated that. He decorated that. You see that?
yeah. That's impressive.
Exceptional blades, guys. Exceptional. And this one, right? This
Mhm.
is again cavalry, light cavalry saber, right? And 1839. And then this is also Biche, right? Also, this is this, and then Don, and this is Braunstein. And look at this. And here we can show it. I can show them to you. Look at these blades. These are exceptional blades, guys. They're
Yeah,
so
well,
beautiful.
I think the shape of the one decorated heavily in gold is a very elegant shape.
Very.
I mean, you really think this would be able to do a lot of damage.
Look at this blade.
Mm.
Beautiful, huh? God.
Yeah, and this kind of gilding, it wasn't like engraved gilding where you are cutting channels into the blade. This didn't affect the strength of the blade at all. Not that they did, but it because there's so much gold on it, you'd think, oh well, things could go horribly wrong, but it's on the surface only. So there's a nice
Yeah.
point
You can
too.
see the welded steel pattern on the one, all of them.
Yeah.
This one as well. Look at the welded steel. Look.
Well, but I think that's not welded steel. That's engraving, I think, isn't it?
No, they have welded steel and engraving on top of that
So it's
bead.
engraved onto the welded
Yeah,
steel,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that you so you can look at one pattern, and that's the
Yeah,
engraving pattern, and you
yeah.
look a bit, and behind that pattern is the welded steel
So
pattern.
if you look at the engraving on that, also sometimes etching, but then if you look closely, there is the blade is made of welded steel bead.
Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt you're right. It's just that in the photograph I couldn't see it as
Yes,
clearly.
yes.
Obviously, you saw it when you were right
Sure.
there. Uh,
Look
yeah,
at
these are
this.
yeah, very, very good curves to those blades.
Yeah.
Very
You know, these are
nice.
made in the same way as we saw it in the beginning with different bars, steel and
Oh,
iron
yeah.
bars, where they folded them. These are the result of them.
Yeah, see, this is excellent workmanship.
I need to show
Again,
something to
looking at it,
you.
if you walked in off the street and didn't know anything about this, and you looked at those blades, you'd think, oh, they're just machine made and everything like that. And you don't realize everything is handcrafted.
Yes, this is the book I bought there, right? I
Mhm.
mean, there are different books in French, and
Yeah,
these blades are also pictured there and explained there. And they exactly talk about the whole process of forging the blade, engraving the blade, gilding the blades, bluing the blades. Those of you who speak polishing French, I really get this book, this Klingenthal. In museum, you can buy that, right?
yeah,
This is really beautiful book in written in French, the whole process. And then they explain these blades, especially they dedicate yeah, exactly. One parts of this is about these blades. You can see that. Also about the armor, everything you want. This is in this
yeah.
book.
This seems really comprehensive. See, this is the thing that we miss, I think. Some museum catalogs don't really go into that depth.
No.
And
Hey,
I have a feeling that some of
look
these
at
could
this. Look
know
at
much.
this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah.
They show the whole process of how they polished them. Then they show how they were made and the forging process. Then they show close up of the blades. They give you the dimensions. You
Yeah.
know,
This,
it's unbelievable. Look how they make this armor. Look.
oh yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is the whole thing that I find that's I like details. I mean, I like to know how things are done. And I mean, some people just say, "Oh, I've got it, it's over." But I'm the exact opposite. The more detail, the better. Now that's a serious looking knife blade there.
Yeah, it's a couteau de chasse hunting knife. This is such
Yeah.
a huge hunting knife. What did they
Yeah, I mean
use it for?
wild boar maybe. So that yeah,
Okay,
that's up.
you see that
That's
here in French. I mean, you can see it close. I have close up
yeah,
pictures. Acier damas, that's welded steel. You see that? Here they explain that.
yeah.
Welded steel and also engraving on top of this welded steel by Charles Wolfe around 1900.
Wow.
Beautiful. You see that?
Yeah. Again, the kind of well, this if this was a medieval knife, you'd think it was for armor piercing, but we know it's a hunting knife made in 1900. So yeah, it kind of it's got features, historic features. Oh, the patterning is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This one is beautiful. Also, Acier damas, as they call it in French, means damask, right?
Yeah. Well, this is it. In English, there's a bit of a confusion between damask blades and
Yes.
Damascus blades, which is a locality. I mean, the
Yes,
word is from the same origin, but one actually means this kind of
yes,
folded steel.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, these are
Oops.
impressive.
So what happened? Sorry. Okay, here. Then we go here. So it's a cavalry pattern 1822, line
Mm.
cavalry. Look at this
So
one, 1822.
yeah, see I mean, very decorative, but also very solidly made. I mean, some people argue about whether the steel guards are better than bronze or brass guards like this. This is a softer metal, but I suppose it depends on how often you get hit in the hand,
Mm.
and how often you use your sword in battle. And
So,
by this stage, most people are using guns, so officers are the only people who usually get them out, except in certain types of cavalry. But
and they are solid, Pete. They are solid. They can
yeah,
protect
well,
you.
that you if you're hit on that with a sharp steel blade, it'll cut the brass, but it won't cut through the brass.
No, no.
And I mean, it's a lot easier to get a replacement brass grip than it is to get replacement steel grip, except when they changed the design and made them.
And they're all engraved by those famous engravers, by the way. Look at this
Yeah,
one, Pete.
the level of engraving is amazing. I mean, we saw in the ones that they were showing in the process of manufacturing that
Yes.
the basis of the engraving is done in the casting, but then they're chased and all kinds of,
Yes.
little tools are used to sharpen up the design and make it more effective. And that's a manufacturing process to make it, like
Pete,
more
take a look at
practical.
this one. Take a look at this one. Do you see these engravings on top? Right?
Oh
These
yeah, yeah. I mean,
flowers.
I noticed
But
that.
look at the background. Here you see that Asiadama.
Yeah, yeah. You see the pattern in the steel underneath the
Yes.
engravings and I
I
assume in the
just need
cheap.
to say something to our viewers here because I
Yeah,
mentioned it to Beat before we started recording. I was telling Beat years ago, I bought a book by the famous Manfred Sachse, late Manfred Sachse, who died some years ago. And there, to be honest, I didn't know that. And Manfred Sachse shows from Solingen Museum many of these also rapier blades, which we assume, not all of them, of course, but which we assume they have mono steel actually are welded steel. And he shows in his book from Solingen, excuse me, a rapier blade. You see that? I hope our viewers can see that. Here,
it's the that's better. Yeah, yeah. You
you
can
see
see
that?
that there. Yeah,
Yeah, welded steel. And then also European saber blades from these, in German, Damascener Stahl, right? By
yeah.
Manfred Sachse in German. So he shows it. And back then, it was always at the back of my mind. Oh, so they could be. And when I went to Klingenthal, I said, bingo, here you go. You see them, right? You see them clearly, right? So my
This is the
respect for these blades increased because then you realize, but then the process folding, oh God, what they went through to make such blades, right?
yeah.
Really?
And to think these are continuation into the industrial age of quite ancient techniques,
Yes,
except that it's more streamlined and it's
yes.
designed for making, not two blades, but 200 blades. But the thing is that the quality is still there.
So we can go here. Oh, let me show it to you. Please take a look.
Mm. So these are the working benches with all the tools on them.
Yes. They're for engravers, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm terrible at using those, but
Yeah.
um I'm looking at the complexity of the design and just thinking, you've got one of those in the palm of your hand, you're guiding it around the design. This is a lot of work.
And a magnifying glass, original one. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, if your eyes are really good, eventually you're going to need something to help. Yeah.
Look, it's beautiful, Beat.
Mm.
Oops. Yeah. You see that here? You have it closer. Look, all those tools, they're all original, Beat. Look.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you go into a jewelry workshop today and you'll see a lot of these tools. But the concept that they're being used in swords for a whole army and you're getting this level of work. I mean, obviously, more detail, more engraving on officers' swords. Everyday soldiers would have plain swords,
Yes.
but it doesn't mean they had badly made swords. It's just that they didn't have as much decoration on them.
Yes.
The quality of the swords, probably there was a sliding scale from really rough ones to really good ones. Oh, is that for? So you've got an anvil that's got a set of grooves for,
Yes.
I assume, putting grooves into things. But
Yes.
that block looks as though it might be used for shaping a curved blade. Is
Yes.
that right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful stuff.
Look at this bead before engraving. the knife after engraving.
Wow. See, this is hard but delicate work.
Yeah.
I mean, well, first of all, you've got to have your engraving tool hardened, so it's got a very hard edge because it's got to cut through that. I don't think I can explain it properly, but you've basically got a four-sided rod of metal that you cut the end off at an angle, which produced a diamond flat blade, which you then harden and heat treat and then polish, and then that cuts a V-shaped groove into the metal.
Yes.
And
Yes.
It sounds very straightforward, but it's not really easy to do. And the reason they've got a ball-shaped handle is it fits up into the palm of your hand, and you can hold the blade, because you don't hold it like by the ball and have the blade sticking out the front. It goes into your hand so you can control it. And that ball is so you can put the whole pressure of your arm to take this very fine shaving of metal out to make the groove. Hard work.
And take a look at that. This is a period handwritten note. For example, it's wonderful. For example, you said the couteau dessert, dessert knives, and then they put this is handwritten note from that period. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, people judged you by the quality of your handwriting in the good old days.
Yes.
Now they judge you by your choice of fonts on your computer.
Yeah, look at this. If I can show it. Yeah, here you go. Look at this.
Yeah. See, that's amazing. So they're not just making swords, they're making table knives and dessert knives.
Yes.
And all kinds of things.
All kinds of things.
But all of this really high quality.
Yeah, of course, all high quality.
See, this is a thing that, again, I think a lot of people didn't know, and some people did know and forgot. But these factories were not, you couldn't just make swords.
No.
You had to have other things to keep you going when you had a lot of peace. It's like Japanese smiths when they outlawed wearing katanas and armor. The people that did
one note about Japanese knife makers is so wonderful. Yeah. As you know, that Nihonto can only be made if you're qualified and you pass all those tests and become only a smith. Then you can be polisher 5 to 6 years. So otherwise, you cannot own a sword besides this original Nihonto, and you need to be licensed for each one of them. Other swords are forbidden. And then, so as a way, not everyone can get this certification. So all Japanese smiths who don't have this certification make Japanese kitchen knives. Now, I have different Japanese kitchen knives, and I talked to a Japanese it's not sword maker, kitchen knife maker, traditional method, and he made a kitchen knife. I'm not kidding. Yeah, Japanese. So then I just said, what kind of kitchen knife is that? And he said to me in a very sweet English, I really love it. Yeah, if Manucci, you have hard things to cut in your kitchen. Like what? And he said, like meat. But I mean, what kind of meat do I cut? Yeah, harder meat, bones. And you know that they found, thanks heaven, a loophole to show their skills and to sell their stuff, And that thing is actually a short sword.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest blades I think they make are for those experts in cutting up tunas to make sashimi.
Exactly.
And they're as big as real swords, bigger sometimes.
Exactly.
But the skill level, I mean, they're really expensive, the good ones too.
Very expensive. Very, very expensive.
So these arts still have their benefits in the modern world.
Absolutely.
All of these.
So each part of the museum you go and you see different manufacturing processes. It's really unbelievable. I've never seen a museum which you can see the whole process of manufacturing blades.
Yeah. This is really impressive because, again, a lot of us like to see how things are done. We're not going to go home and make a sword, but we like to see how they're put together. And then when we go and see a sword in a museum or in an antique store or something, we can look at it and say, wow, look at how well that's been done, as opposed to just the general thing, oh, it's a sword. I mean, a lot of people have quite sophisticated ways of judging swords, but I think when you understand how they're made,
Yes.
it gives you a much better feel for them in terms of how much work. I mean, there's stuff that's just decorative and it's not really functional, but then there's stuff here that's both decorative and functional.
And functional. Yes.
Mm.
Look at them. Really
Yeah,
magnificent
that's
blades.
nice.
Such
Yeah.
quality in this Klingenthal.
Yeah. So this is the wire that they use for wire wrapping the hilts
You
of
know,
spool.
Bede, everyone knows about Solingen, about Toledo, but few people know about Klingenthal. That's, but
Yeah, yeah.
really,
And I can see and this anybody interested in swords would love to see all these things about how the different bits are put together.
yes,
I mean, it's I think it's fascinating.
yes.
I'm just trying to work out what all the bits are. Sorry. Looks like a piece of buffalo horn up the back there.
Yes.
But again, you see how they cast the guards flat, and then you shape them onto the sword when they've been annealed soft, and then
Yes.
they work hard until they become. But yeah, some of those guards are really. I mean, if you saw Art Nouveau or something like that, and you saw patterns like that, you say, oh, this is early 20th century design. But you look at these, and this has been going on for a century or two.
Centuries.
All these elegant shapes. Oh, they
Yes.
did like their flywheels in the good old days.
Okay, Bede. We finished the second part, and we have only one part left. If you have the power, we can go and finish the last part. It gets really interesting if you have time.
Well, I'm just looking at the time here. It's 9:38 at night.
Is it okay for
Well,
you?
yeah, why not? Why not? Because I
Thank
do
you.
have to get up early in the morning, but it might turn out to be raining heavily and I might not have to. So we'll see how it goes.
So, do you see that? Oh, you can imagine.